Hello YouTubies, this is Joker Scribe and thanks for watching one of my awesome YouTube videos. And this is a video going out to anyone who is questioning the recession. Now, I've had a number of very interesting conversations with a lot of people on the internet, mainly on Facebook, but also in other places like Skype, etc. And I came across somebody who is raising awareness of a pathological condition that many royals, many people who are politicians and leaders and also business entrepreneurs seem to have. In fact, I think most of them probably have some type of underlying pathological condition. And I think Margaret Thatcher was, well, she was demented, wasn't she? She wasn't actually pathologically crazy. She was just demented while she was in power. And that's how she saw it. She was in power. She wasn't running the country. She was in power. Anyway, let's talk about the recession. This is where it gets to me, because I can't stand people who keep on coming on about this recession business and driving it into people's heads that it's their fault. So where am I going with this? I've seen so many articles in the newspapers, so many things on media outlets where they blame people, they blame the unemployed, they say they're lazy, they don't want to work, and the society we live in has actually caused this in a way, but they keep on saying how lazy the population actually is. And then people just seem to buy it. They come along and say, oh, you know, Jeremy Kyle, they watch Jeremy Kyle and he says, oh, everybody who is on benefits is a lazy old bum, can't be bothered to get a job, needs to find something out there that's worthy of doing. I think he's talking about, you know, cleaning the toilets, etc., or stacking shelves in the supermarket. But they are the most jobs you're going to get nowadays anyway, unless you are educated, and even if you are, you're going to be limited in some aspects. However, here's where I get to the crux of the video. There is no recession. There really isn't any recession. And why is that? Well, I like to point out some of the obvious things about recession. It seems to be that as recession gets worse, less people work. And that would make sense because the businesses are apparently all closing down, yeah? And this is because it's all our fault. What people don't see is that most of the small businesses that are closing down are closed down simply because the bigger businesses are more efficient. They can push them away and do it more efficiently than the small businesses. But that's your fault, of course. That isn't the people who are running the country's fault, it's your fault. You know, the people who haven't really contributed anything into society, it's your fault for not doing anything. This is where it's all coming down to. And that's why you're all blamed for it, because, you know, some small businesses start to close because other companies become more efficient. How are they becoming more efficient though? This is where, you know, I have to state it. Well, technology. The use of machinery, the advancement of technology. As technology gets more advanced, as machineries start to take over the industries in a almost amazing takeover. I mean, one machine, let's say we have a harvester, right, and we go back far enough in the past. How many men would it take to compete with one harvester? Let's say a harvester cut through a field for a week, a massive field for a week, you know, a commercial field. How many farmers using their bare hands would it take to compete with that harvester? Yeah? But I bet you would take a bloody lot of them. And that's where I'm going with this video. In the past, you would need a bigger workforce simply because there would be more work to cover because of the fact that machinery makes things more efficient. you need to do, there's more work to do because humans aren't that efficient. They cannot harvest a whole field without the use of machinery. And they used to use plows with horses, but even those are pretty slow. A harvester can do that job in like 10 minutes, what a horse and a man can do in a week. That gives you some, logical aspects of what's going on. So as machines get more advanced, the use of people becomes lessened. And then another thing's happened. Notice all the supermarkets that have been opening up around you in rural areas, etc. Knocking out the little small businesses. You remember that? That's been all over the news and nobody seems to have remembered it. All the small businesses closing while the big supermarkets become more successful. They are more efficient, they have better technology, and they can use one person to serve thousands of customers all the groceries that they need. And how do they do this? Well, they order on, en masse, and they farm commercially. They are big businesses, and they know exactly what they're doing. The efficiency of these companies is unbelievable. So they can have like 100 people working in a store, like a Morrison's or something, in a week, serving hundreds of thousands of people all their shopping for a week. One local business couldn't compete with that. Even if you had, corner stores, and you had 100 people working in different stores across a road, and they tried to serve hundreds of thousands of people, they wouldn't be able to do it. So supermarkets are more efficient than big businesses. As Thomas Sheridan said in the past, it's all business. So the small businesses get closed down because they are less efficient, and that means less workers are needed. Yeah. So more of you go be unemployed. You get what I mean? This is where it's going, guys. And people are yabbing saying, oh, it's all the people's fault who can't be asked to get a job. Well, it's actually becoming harder to get jobs in certain fields anyway. Sorry about the pun there, but you won't find many farming jobs because the efficiency of families are too great. They can knock out small businesses quite easily. And the supermarkets will take over. They're selling clothes, they're selling microwaves, they're selling big TVs, plasmas, etc. Notice that they're selling everything you need in a Tesco massive supermarket. They may employ 1,000 people, but in the past, to serve all that to the community that they're providing for would take 100 times more people, because the efficiency of the small businesses isn't that great. That's where I've gone with this video. The efficiency is what's changing, and because technology has advanced so much, they don't need as many workers. In fact, even in supermarkets, they've got these self-serving bays, which means you can walk in, get your supermarket goods and walk straight out without even seeing anyone. Just one person operating a cashier group of around about 20 tills, because they don't need as many workers anymore operating those tills. It's great technology, but it does knock out the small people. So this recession, of the reason why there's less people working, is simply because technology has taken over. It's becoming more advanced. It's nobody's fault, but the small people will be blamed for it, and they will say it's your fault. Look at what they're doing with these bedroom tax and all this, right? They're saying everybody should be going into the single bedrooms or whatever it is, but there's not enough spaces for those people, so they're putting the blame on it, but there's no actual way to solve the problem. You can get what I mean from this, and the baby's crying, so I'm going to have to stop the video. But as I said before, it's not our fault that businesses are so efficient nowadays, and that the bigger businesses are knocking out the small businesses, which means less people work anyway. But we're still getting blamed for it. And who do we owe this $10 trillion deficit to? If you're in the US, I'm in the UK, by the way. Who do the US owe that to? Because whoever it is one rich bastard. It really is. You have to be some rich git to be owed that much in the first place. I wouldn't give them a single penny. I really wouldn't. I just think they're leeches. And until humanity realises what's going on, I think we're screwed. I think they'll keep on trotting on the small people. They'll gaslight them to hell. But people have been gaslighted already. They think that this recession is caused by people not working. In fact, businesses couldn't be any more successful nowadays. They are literally doing things that in the past would seem impossible. You see what I mean? How can you compete? Let's even go on the basic thing of farming. How can men compete with a bloody £100,000 harvester that can completely decimate a field in a few hours, which would take men months to go through? It would take hundreds of men months to go through. I don't understand why people can't actually see that. That's the same sort of thing that's happening all over the place. It's just in a different type of business. Because of the efficiency of technology, it means less people need to work, and as technology gets more advanced, less of the percentage of people in, well, the population will be working. And of course it's all your fault. So what they'll do is they'll then make out that it's your fault, and everybody can turn against each other. You know, divide and conquer. That's what it's all about. So this recession, I don't believe is actually happening. I think they're pulling it. And it's good for making people lose their homes, etc. It really is. They can tax the hell out of you. They can kill off the weaker people, which is probably what they really want to do. You notice they're attacking the disabled people now. And then, they can have a better world for themselves. They've got the technology. The big businesses aren't at risk at all. They're still big. They're going to be around a lot longer. They're just going to knock out the small businesses. And that's exactly where it's going. And, I've got a big grin on my face because that's how they think. That's exactly how they think when they're doing it. So, thank you for watching. And I thought it would be interesting to point some things out. I'm sure people can put in better words than I can because I've not scripted this. But you might get something from this video. You might be able to, say something in response to it. See you later.